the best family memories I have are Sunday dinners at my grandmother's house. We'd have traditional Southern favorites like fried chicken, cornbread, fresh vegetables from the garden, and of course something sweet. Let's face it, we all like comfort food, and eating a meal together is a great way to spend time with your loved ones. Most people with diabetes think these traditional Southern foods are off limits, but today we're going to make over some of your favorite Southern dishes that not only taste good, they're good for you. First, I need to wash my hands before I start cooking. So let's get started with fried chicken. Traditional fried chicken is full of fat, and that's not so good for your heart. Eating foods that are too high in fat can increase your risk of heart attacks and strokes. Today, we're going to bake our chicken instead of frying. I've decided to use a pound of chicken drumsticks because they were on sale at the grocery store. To stick with my food budget, I usually buy the cut of meat that's on sale that week. First, preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Next, we'll need to marinate the chicken to make it juicy inside. Combine 1/3 cup of low-fat buttermilk, a teaspoon of chili powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper in a shallow dish. We're using spices to flavor our food instead of salt. Dip the chicken drumsticks in the buttermilk mixture. Meanwhile, prepare the breading by placing 1 cup of breadcrumbs in a shallow dish. Roll the marinated chicken in the breadcrumbs and place them on a baking sheet. Spray the chicken with cooking spray and bake for 40 to 50 minutes until the chicken is cooked through, turning the chicken once halfway through around 25 minutes. You always want to cook chicken thoroughly until a meat thermometer registers 165 degrees. Now I need to make sure to thoroughly wash my hands, especially after touching raw poultry, before moving on to the next dish. So while the chicken is in the oven, let's go ahead and work on our vegetables. Traditional collard greens are usually seasoned with ham hocks, which are high in fat and salt. In this recipe, we're going to lower the fat and salt content in our greens by using lower sodium chicken broth and turkey bacon. Start with about 2 pounds of collard greens that have been thoroughly washed and chopped, making sure to remove the stems. In a large pot, heat 1 teaspoon of olive oil over medium heat. Olive oil is a heart-healthy oil. Add 1 chopped onion, 2 cloves of chopped garlic, and 2 slices of chopped uncooked turkey bacon and cook for about 5 minutes. Add the collard greens, a 14-ounce can of low-sodium chicken broth, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and bring to a boil. Reduce heat and simmer about 1 hour until the greens are tender. To give your greens an extra boost of flavor, sprinkle with a little cider vinegar just before you eat them. Now on to dessert. My grandmother made the best banana pudding, but it was loaded with fat and sugar. By using sugar-free versions of the ingredients, we can cut way back on our sugar intake. Today, we're going to prepare an easy no-bake banana pudding trifle. The key here is portion control. Keep in mind, this dessert serves 16 people. Start by preparing the sugar-free pudding. Beat or whisk together 3 packages of sugar-free instant vanilla pudding with 3 cups of fat-free milk together in a bowl. In a large glass bowl, or trifle bowl if you have it, place 1/3 of a box of reduced fat vanilla wafers in the bottom. Layer 2 sliced bananas on top of the wafers. Spread 1/2 of the pudding mixture on top of the bananas. Repeat the layers, ending up with vanilla wafers and sliced bananas on top. Finish the banana pudding with sugar-free, fat-free frozen whipped topping. The serving size for this dessert is 3/4 of a cup, so remember to watch your portions. Today, we prepared a traditional Southern meal that was lower in fat, sugar, and salt by making simple substitutions. We baked our meat instead of frying, used lower sodium broth, and used sugar-free versions of our ingredients. To make a healthy plate, aim to fill half your plate with non-starchy vegetables such as our collard greens. The other 1/4 of our plate is for protein such as our oven-fried chicken legs. The last 1/4 of our plate is reserved for our carbohydrates or starches. Notice on my plate, I have a smaller portion of peas so that I can make room for my banana pudding without going over my limit for carbohydrates at this meal. I encourage you to speak with a registered dietitian to develop a meal plan based on your specific needs. By changing the way you cook, substituting a few key ingredients, and watching your portions, you can continue to enjoy your favorite comfort foods.